What's your name?
But
What's your name?
Evelyn Dean.
Okay.
I always get called Deanie.
What's your name?
I used to get called Evie.
Okay. What's your name?
Yes. Mary Sutherland.
And how old are you?
69.
And on my 17th birthday, my father took me down to Sheffield to the recruiting office.
Sheffield had a pride in what they did. With the little messages making knives and things like that. And it was a hive of industry, you know, and now it seems to have lost its purpose. And well, because we're coming out of Europe now, I should really like to see more industry in Sheffield.
And we're here in Sheffield for a project that we developed around 3 months ago, and it's with South Yorkshire Housing. It's a project that we wanted to look at and highlight the isolation of older people in Sheffield today.
Like my father, when he came here, it took him 4 weeks to get here on a ship, through the Hull, through the Suez Canal, get into Europe, and then get to Liverpool.
It's a whole journey from their memories as young people, and a lot of young people interviewed them, so we were quite interested in finding out what they were doing at 1820 versus what young people in Sheffield today do.
We started collecting interviews from older residents in Sheffield, both kind of at different residential homes, the SYHA. We've collected hours, probably over 100 hours of interviews, you know, with many people. So finding the kind of golden moments in those transcriptions of those interviews has been really hard because there's so much that we wanted to put in. So deciding where we could cut was quite tricky.
They didn't have televisions. It was just the radio. And on the geriatric side, they weren't interested in music. When I went in the fire service, I was learning how to type telegrams, which they don't do anymore. And that was very hard.
But yeah, we've been rehearsing here for the past couple of weeks with intergenerational cast, some older people and some people who are under 25 as well. So we could kind of get that voices of the younger people in Sheffield learning from the older people, and that sense of exchange, which was a really important part of this project for us.
I think it is a global village. I think that's why society is changing.
I think Sheffield now is trying to be more modern because of the student input. They're changing it. They're pulling down a lot of the lovely old buildings.
So the cast itself is multi-age, which is lovely, and it's been really enjoyable and fascinating to be made aware of some of those memories of Sheffield, as well as thoughts and experiences of how over time now the city's changing and that the population is changing and it's becoming more multiracial, and how that's worked out for residents in Sheffield as well.
I'm 26 now.
I'm 69.
You're 69. What's your name?
But
They have headphones on throughout the entire performance, and what they're hearing through those headphones is the actual voices from the interviews that we collected around Sheffield.
What's your name?
Evelyn Dean.
Okay.
I always get called Deanie. I used to get called Evie.
Okay. What's your name?
Yes. Mary Sutherland.
And how old are you?
69.
Can you give your name?
June Parkin.
Well, I'm Mr. Douglas William Clark without an E.
Said 5. Steve, 20 now.
It means kind of word for word repetition from the interviews that we've collected. So sometimes people do verbatim as they make a script and they learn it, but we've done it so that we can really get the quality of their voices, the way they pause, the way they laugh, the intonations they use, all of those things coming through our actors.
We don't really go for talent because we all believe that inherently we are all natural storytellers and we're just here to facilitate, and people were invited to come along and volunteer. There wasn't any audition process.
I play a number of roles in this play. I'm unique. I mean, people did things in more style in those days. They really did. Yes, they did. They really did. I mean, a night out like that was something really special in many ways, in that I play myself for a part of it. I'm the only person who actually does that. 100 people on an ordinary Saturday set out on the same journey as myself and didn't return. It was a beautiful day. I remember the silence when the game was finally stopped, but the silence was something we'd not heard at a football game, either before or since.
Because we didn't have televisions. I think it'd actually been invented, but, because I'm 80, we might as well establish that. So, in the midst of times, we didn't have televisions. And then you could go to the Saturday matinee. And we loved the Saturday matinee because you used to follow these different programmes that were on, kind of like a series on television. I mean, everything seemed to me so much more affordable then.
Beginning, I play one of the women in the war who talks about her relationship with a prisoner of war, and then I'm a character who's had a lot of fun. She goes to dances and everything.
They can be months, if not years, without work. It's terrible.
A lot of the time you have to learn scripts, or I've done a lot of more dance-based type pieces, but this is quite different because you're going off what the people say and you're kind of really trying to adopt their character and make it authentic.
We will take anyone, and we're hoping to develop maybe regular drama workshops and to have a presence in the Sheffield area.
I'd never seen anything like it or heard anything like it.
Such an interesting piece of theatre, and it's so different to what people usually expect. Like everyone always expects, oh, let's go to the Crucible or the Lyceum to see like a traditional play. Where verbatim theatre is so much more, in my opinion, interesting because you hear people's stories.
She said, I can't feel a thing. We had to, because he was Catholic, we had to phone the priest before the doctor. So I got all the paraphernalia out.
And especially being in Sheffield, about people from Sheffield, it's got a personal connection to it. And he fell in love with my hair. And he stroked it and he said, do you mind? I said, well, no, not really. He said, it's not dyed, is it? I said, pardon. You see, people didn't think about dyeing their hairs in them days. So I did meet really important people, and I loved that. And they got fed up of going up and down, up and down, up and down. So then I joined the Land Army. And so the audience will really feel that, especially with like the steelworks, the miners, which is such a big part of the Sheffield community. They'll really react in a positive way to that. And for me as well as an actor, I think it's possibly the most personal thing I've done, just because like my family's got a long history of being miners and working in steelworks. My granddad who's coming to see this, he actually was a steelworker as well. So it'll be really interesting to like pay like tribute to those people from my family who've done it all.
I'm 6'3", and I'm working in conditions no more than 4 foot high. I had 2 years of that. Well, I had to get in the cage to go down, and I had to double up to get in cage, which took me down to the bottom of the shaft. And then main walkways were pretty higher, and what they call ring girders, holding roof up, you know. But going up to a place where coal was, it got smaller. I used to get bits off my spine, get knocked off by a roof, you know. So I was working on when I first went down, I was tramming, which is pushing tubs. It was at Smithwood Colliery near Chapeltown. I did 2 years there. My service was finished then, yes.
So it's coming together nicely. I think we're ready for tomorrow. We will be by the end of today at least.
Yeah? Compound time goes like this. You do the simple time. Go.
Is their era of swing, the Lindy Hop.
So it's no risk.
It's no risk. no risk at all.
In fact, they'll insist on it. You know, they're tapping their feet even when they're walking into the background music, and it brings back the memories because it's
reminiscent.
That's right.
To them, so they have some kind of feeling, some personal kind of feeling towards what we do, because they were doing it in their generation. You see. Actually being isolated, not given opportunity to do certain activities that they'll keep them stimulated, you see. So we're kind of here to support that cause. And what's interesting about the project as well, it's not only we're dancing, there's certain elements of it where we're doing kind of abstract pieces in the actual play.
The performance was fantastic. It was quite an unusual experience to hear those voices coming out of different people. So you'd got the stories of women coming out of men's voices and different ages. It's quite innovative. Performances like this are the sort of things that young people need to see that old people don't always have it easy, and to a certain extent, where they do have it a little easier now, it's usually been as a reward for going through some incredibly tough times.
Yeah, it makes you think a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, what people are going through and things, and as you get older, what you're going to be like yourself. Yeah, it does a bit, yeah. Yeah, it was really good.
I thought it was really, really thought-provoking. I thought it was amusing and quite poignant as well. So I think it had everything that you really want to get people engaged. Yeah, it's good to hear real voices, and they were real voices, and they came across as very genuine voices. And it's good to see a variety of things and see what people of that age are actually looking back at, and whether they think Sheffield was instrumental in where they are now, or it has had an effect on them, and how they think Sheffield is treating people of their own age was quite interesting.
They spoke about when I was in my younger days.
Particularly, there was a chap talking about being in the coal mines, and we come from a mining family, and our grandfather spent a lot of time down the mines during the Second World War. So yeah, there were lots of stories that we could have. So it almost brings those stories back to life.
We were just talking about the fact that it might be a very good idea to get these sort of performances out to the people rather than get the people to come here, because noticeably there weren't many older people here, and really they would have been interested in getting them. So going out, getting people's voices heard, going to entertain them and educate them is just as valuable as it is for us, I think.
I've lived in Sheffield now 80 years, so I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. And I've always, when I've been anywhere, I've wanted to come back to Sheffield. I went in the army 2 years, but I'm glad to get back to Sheffield.
I think we knew it would be good, but I think it's exceeded all expectations, especially as today we've had the older people who were interviewed in the audience. So it's been quite a long process from meeting with older people and gathering their stories to gathering volunteers to take part, and then working with Theatre Delhi as well. But to see it all come together is just so rewarding.
I thought it was really good, it was really informative, it was lovely to hear the stories.
I really enjoyed the performance, so it was marvellous. So I was really pleased how the staff, the old people on the front row, how they really engaged with the performance. So that was marvellous.
I think for me it gave me a different insight into how people think, because sometimes I think they might like this when really actually they don't. So it's the insight into people's lives, how they lived and what they would like in the future.
Did some work with Cardboard Citizens last year for the Cathy project, so that went down really well. It was a great success, so we decided to repeat the process this year.
I think it's a pity if there wasn't any more performances of this kind, because we can learn a lot from people's stories, and you know, it's something that actually should be brought out, not just internally. It should maybe go into the homes, into the extra care homes and things like that, so people can actually view it.